Hello again. Happy Thursday and welcome to another Craft and Connect video. This is our Birthday Elements 2.0. On Tuesday, I did a video where I was working with the balloon, what's that thing called? Bursting balloons die. And I shared quite a few different ways to use that. But there were other things that I wanted to focus on as well, and it would just be too long in one video. So I decided to go with a second video. So I'm just going to give everyone a minute. This is a new time for us. It's right smack in the middle of the day. So I'm not sure how many people we will see live, but this video will be available to watch on replay. So if you're watching it on replay later on, hello. Say hello in the comments. I'd love to know who is here. I see Amanda's here. She was excited about the new time because her daughter goes down for a nap at this time so she can focus, which is awesome. Sounds like Karen's in the kitchen. Okay, so today I'm going to focus a little more on the balloon palette stencil. I'm going to show you how that works. And I'm also going to show you a technique that you can do using these words with shadow dies. It is a fun option. And this one, this particular die actually has a double shadow. So it's kind of got some extra bonuses. So we're going to talk a bit about those. We're going to do a little technique with this embossing folder. I touched on it just a little bit in the last video. And then we're going to use the squiggle stacklets as well. Well, Christine's watching on her lunch. I was kind of hoping that people might have a lunch break around this time and they could watch. But like I said, you know what? You can watch it anytime. Like, you know, we live on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch. And if you are watching this on replay and products that we talked about have sold out, just shoot us an email. These products have been in our library for a little bit. We've reordered them several times. So I'm not sure if we'll reorder them or not. We'll see. Depends on whether or not they have new birthday items come out that can replace these. But yeah, so if you're looking for something, just shoot us an email and we are happy to help you out with that. But we're going to start off by stenciling. And when you start off by stenciling, you have to figure out what ink colors you're going to use. And I've been talking a lot lately about the palette playbooks. So I got out my binder because I just put these in a binder. I wasn't sure how I was going to store them, but I decided to go with the binder and I'm very happy I did. So I came across this one from Dill Pickle. So yesterday we talked a lot about, not yesterday, Tuesday, we talked a lot about the themed palette playbook cards. This one is one of their regular ones that focuses on an ink color. So the focus of all of the ink blends is on this Dill Pickle ink color. Now, I wanted to, again, show people how you can use other ink brands to work with these cards because they are not restricted at all to Tailored Expressions. Now, if you have Tailored Expressions inks, that's great because you can go get Dill Pickle and the other colors listed here and just pull them off your shelf and go ahead and dive in. But it's very, very easy to match the colors up with colors from other ink companies. I did a comparison where I had used Distress Oxide inks to create a panel using the Birthday Boy one, and it worked excellent. So this time I'm going to go with Dill Pickle, but I'm going to change it up even more because I chose Concord and Ninth inks. I really liked this Banana Cream Pie and Papaya together. I did want to bring in a green, but I was envisioning something a little softer. So I am going to start making a birthday card. I'm not going to complete the card today. I've got another card already completed that I can kind of show you the finished result, but I'm going to focus on the techniques. But I'm thinking down the road, like all the way to December. My granddaughter's birthday is in December, and you know, it's kind of nice if I can work ahead and think, okay, I need a card for her birthday. So I'm going to kind of pick a color palette that will work for her. And so I really liked these two colors together. I do like the green. So on the flip side of this, there are other color combinations. So I kind of took colors from a few of them and I combined them and I came up with this. So it's softer, but it's going to work great. So the green I chose was from Concord and Ninth, and I'm going to use Sprout. Okay, so that's my green. And then my yellow, I chose Buttercup. So that's going to be my yellow. And then the coral color, I chose Grapefruit. And then I did want to bring in a blue, and I chose the softer one, and it was Powder. So here is the palette I came up with, and it was as a result of this dill pickle card. I'm just pulling the card out here so you can kind of see. It's not exactly like the card shows, but it's going to be pretty cool. So there's the color combination that I was kind of looking at to start with. And this is kind of what I ended up with. And then I did practice stenciling it out before I went live, just because, you know, I don't want to have a complete flop in front of all of you. And it was perfect. It was exactly how I envisioned it. And my jumping off point was this card. So rather than spending 25 minutes running around my craft room, pulling all kinds of ink pads off the shelf and making a complete mess, I had this figured out in about 4 minutes. So I feel that's a huge time saving, and it worked out right away for me. So that's where I got the inspiration from. So that I'm just going to set aside, and we are going to do our ink blend first. So this stencil is a layering stencil, and it is a swatch palette creator. Okay, they have several stencils in their collection that do this. And what happens is, while you're stenciling out your card panel, you'll notice that on the sides here, I'll just fan these all out so you can see. On the sides here, you get these little squares as part of the stencil if you do the full 6x6 panel. And what that does is it swatches your colors while you are ink blending. Now, I'm not going to do that portion today. I don't need a swatch for this blend. Actually, I kind of do, because I've never done this blend before, but I'm not going to do that portion. I've got a panel already cut, and you'll notice in the let's see if I can get it to pick up. Oh, can you see that that line there? That is a guideline for an A2 size panel. So if you cut your A2 size panel and line it up with those guidelines there, that's going to help you line up the stencil part just perfectly. So it works really well. So you can do it with the swatch part or without. And there is a die. It's a little tag die that will cut out the swatch when you're done, and then you can pop it onto a ring or whatever. I'll just show you a couple I've already done. I have the little swatch ring here. I haven't added too many to this. I'd like to talk big like I do all these things in my spare time, but my spare time is very limited right now, and I don't have a lot. But this is the result of one of the swatches that I did. And that's the piece that you would cut off at the side here once your swatches are done, and then you can mark the color names on them, and it's a great little tool. So so that's how that works, but we are not going to use the swatch part today. So I've got them labeled, layered 1 through 4, and I'm using 4 colors. So that makes it really easy. I'm going to just grab my panel, which is right here. And I'm just sticking it onto a sticky mat. This is the Altenew sticky mat. There's lots of different ones out there. I love it because it holds my paper down, and then it also holds the stencil down. So I'm just lining those guidelines up with the edge of the stencil. And then I just kind of push down. And now my sticky mat is free to move, but my paper and my stencil are stuck to it. So they're not going to go anywhere while I'm stenciling, which I really like. Now I'm going to start with the Sprout ink. It doesn't matter which, whoops, I've already got the stencil down. It doesn't matter which ink you use. I'm just going to grab a little ink pad holder here. Where is my magnetic one? Oh, here it is. I moved them. Getting them apart is, well, you know what? I don't need to. Here, I'll just stick it on here. Okay. So, oh my. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go in with, and I decided to use my 1-inch brushes today. The openings on the balloons are quite large. So using a brush that is going to give me a nice smooth blend is kind of what I was going for. So we're going to do that. And I'm just going to go ahead and just start blending right onto the paper. So I'm sure you've seen lots of ink blending from myself and other YouTubers. It's pretty easy to do. I just try to make sure I kind of swirl it in the opposite direction once in a while too, just to make sure that the brush is gliding over all of the areas where the stencil has the ridge. And these are fairly light colors. They're not overly dark. So building up a dark color is going to be hard. But I'm not going for dark. I'm going for sort of a nice, soft blend. And the beautiful thing about balloons is they work for lots of different celebrations. You can do them for showers. You can do them for anniversaries, graduations, obviously birthdays, weddings, baby showers, or anything like that. And this color palette actually would work really nice for a baby as well. So there's layer 1. And then layer 2, we're again just going to line up those etching lines on the stencil with the paper, which is right underneath, and it's very easy. This stencil is very, very forgiving because the openings are so big and they overlap a little bit, but it's not, doesn't need to be precise. Okay, so now we're going to go in with yellow, which is Buttercup. That's upside down. Whoa. And then you can just see they're going to overlap just a little bit in the one spot here and over here. So nothing crazy. I'm hoping you guys can't. I had closed my window. The guys who mow our lawn are here. They always come right when I do a video. So I closed the window. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer. I can kind of watch while I stencil. So are you guys getting much crafting done with the summer weather being so nice? I know sometimes it's a little harder to stay inside with the nice weather. You want to be outside. I still try to get in my room a little bit here and there. Sometimes it's later in the evening or first thing in the morning. But not much on the weekends these days. Okay, so there's the third stencil. So now you can see we're going to overlap in a couple of areas. So when choosing ink colors, you want to kind of test them when you blend them together, because some colors don't play nice together and you'll get kind of like a muddy brown color. But in most situations, they'll be fine. So now we're going in with grapefruit, which is kind of my coral color. Absolutely no crafting. Oh, you're having mojo trouble? Oh my gosh. Do you know what you do then? Mojo trouble's the worst. You know what you do then? You pull out some sentiments and you start building up your stash of sentiments, or stencil out some backgrounds or something like that, just to kind of get yourself going again. And then the creativity might start. Or, I mean, I'm not telling you need to buy something new, but sometimes working with a product that you haven't worked with yet, like a new stamp set or a new stencil or something like that, is fun. And I also find organizing my craft room is often very inspirational too. Do you guys find that? I don't know. I sometimes think, okay, for the next 3 hours, I'm going to, spend time doing some organization. And then I find things that I forgot I had, and I'm like, oh, I want to play with this. And all of a sudden I'm not organizing anything anymore. I've jumped over to my desk and I'm trying something out. So there's stencil number 3. Do you see how this is coming together? Crystal says, same here, mojo trouble, not sure where to start, behind on so much. Okay, so that overwhelming feeling is never good either. You know what? So here's the thing about being overwhelmed. And I mean, I've had to start to teach this to myself, because if Shelby's on here listening, she's going to laugh. Because if I feel very overwhelmed, I often shut down. I just think, oh my God, I can't do anything. I don't even know where to start. Well, not starting is worse than picking one thing and doing it. So I usually pull out the vacuum. That's a weird thing. That's a weird fun fact about me, is when I'm stressed or overwhelmed, I vacuum. Do you know why? Because you can see the results. That's why you get, you just I don't know. Vacuuming for me is a huge thing, but that doesn't help me in getting my jobs done or creating something. So just pick something and start. Because once you kind of get going, I think you'll feel like, oh, that wasn't so hard, or oh, I thought of this. Sometimes I'm working on the moments and memories pages, and oh gosh, where do you start? You're just sitting there looking at these papers, and you're going, okay, I got to create something great because 100 people are counting on me here, and oh, it's a lot of pressure. But I find once I get going, once I start, then things start to come together. But it can be hard. I totally am right there with you guys. Like, if you think that I just come up with all these ideas like bam bam, no. Okay, so there is the final color. So that was powder. All right, so there's our 4 colors. Blending done. Pretty fast, right? And there is the finished blend. I love this color palette, and I wish the camera picked it up as nicely as it looks in person. But here, I'll just hold it up a little bit better so you can see. Isn't that beautiful? So doesn't that look like a great color palette for a little girl who's turning 4? I can't even believe I'm saying that. She'll be turning 4 in December. So great panel, great color combination. Not something I would have picked on my own, 100%. And it came from this. So I'm just going to put that beside there, just so you can kind of see where that kind of stems. So there's my coral, there's my yellow, there's my green, and then this blue can kind of mimic this color there. I just sort of switched it up a little bit. Yes, 4. She's going to be turning 4. Like, how does that happen? Owen turned 10 this summer. I don't even have words. Like, honestly, it's just been crazy watching that kid grow up. And then Liam is 7 now. And oh my gosh, they have such fun little personalities, and they have opinions and ideas, and they're like real little people now. It's so fun. But yeah, Amanda, she doesn't like to talk about how quick they're growing up. Okay, so here is our finished panel. Now, the next step is going to be getting it prepped for the next technique that I want to do. And that is, where's that card I was showing you? I've lost the card. Hang on. I'll find it. Here it is. Okay, so here is the card that Amanda created. And the technique I want to share with you is this sort of outlined word that is kind of indented into the panel of the front panel of your card. It is a really fun thing that you can do with any shadow die. And it's so easy. So once you get your panel done, you're going to want to go ahead and get your word die, and you're going to place it where you want it. Now, I'm again going to brag about how amazing this new die cut machine is, the Empress, that we are carrying from Anna Griffin. I'm looking for my alcohol. Here we go. Every time I use it, I'm going to show you a few different things today. I just about squeal, because things that I struggled with or didn't care to do before are gone. I just love everything about this machine. It is so easy to work with, and it's electronic, so there's no cranking. But the very cool thing is this plate system. It has this magnetic mat, and I've used magnetic mats before. I've used magnetic platforms before. Nothing ever that I've used has compared to this. It is just unbelievable. So there's two clear plates that I'm using to sandwich together the magnetic plate. Depending on the weight of your cardstock, you may or may not have to add this shim. Now, I've got it in here because I was having a little trouble with some of the heavier weight papers that I was using. So I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to mess around. So I put the shim in, and it's awesome. So I'm going to put my panel right here on my magnetic mat. And I'm going to pull out that Wish Big die. So Amanda used the Celebrate die, which is also very cool. I'll just grab that too. Where did I put it? I had a whole stack of stuff on my desk when I started the video, and I've lost the whole stack. How is that even a thing? Hang on. I probably buried it. That's the problem. Oh my gosh. None of that is it. Like, where do I put it? Do you guys see it? Like, what is going on? Oh my gosh. Well, this is a problem because, oh, here it is. I was going to say because I can't die cut anything out. Okay, so here is the two word dies. They have a whole collection of these dies, and they're larger, so they do take up a nice portion of the front of a card, and they're fun to use when you are working with stencils because you don't want to cover up all the things that you've stenciled, and sometimes your stencils can be a little bit more busy, and it's hard to layer things on top of them. So this is where these words come in, and they are so fun to play with. So I'm going to work with Wish Big. In here, they come on a little magnetic sheet, and you're going to see that there's actually 3 dies. So there's the very outline shadow die. There's a smaller shadow die that is a little tighter to the word. And then there's the actual word. Okay, so those are the 3 pieces that come with that. And what we want to do is place the largest shadow die. Not all of these large word dies, like from other companies and stuff, they only come with 1 shadow, and that's totally fine. But you want to take that shadow die and you want to place it on your card where you want it to be. And this is the beauty of this magnetic mat, is when I place it there, it's not going anywhere. I don't have to tape it down and risk when I pull after you run the sandwich through your machine, it really pushes the tape on. And then you go to gently pull it off and it tears your stencil background like that. That's never fun. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that my panel's straight, my die's straight, and get it where I want it. Now I'm actually going to do a double die cut here because I want to actually give my outer panel an edge. Amanda left hers rectangular, which is great too, but I'm going to use the squiggle stacklets. I love these. These are one of my favorite Taylor Expressions rectangle dies. I'm taking the largest one and I am going to place that on my panel. Now you'll notice, and I'll hold this up so you can see, that my squiggle stacklets go almost to the very edge of my stencil pattern. I should show it to you first. And you'll see that there's like that little white line all the way around when I stenciled it out. I'm going to actually put this on here and watch it jump on there. Like boom, it just grabs it. So it's not moving. And I'm going to just position this so that it is right along the edge. So I've got 2 dies on here now. See that? And I can like move this and shake this. It's not going anywhere. So now I'm just going to put my top plate on. I'm going to turn on my machine and I'm just going to run it through. It's like that part's not magical. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but you don't learn anything by watching. So I'm just going to run this through. Okay. So there we are. Remove the top plate. I mean, I don't have to be gentle about it or anything like that. I can remove the squiggle stacklet. So now we've got that nice squiggly pattern going around the outside. Okay, I'm going to put that die back because you know what's going to happen if I don't. I'm going to be looking for it and I'm going to be asking you guys where it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take out the other die. And so now we have this hole in our panel. So that is this hole right here for the Celebrate. Okay, now I'm going to take this one step further and I want to use an embossing folder on here as well. Okay, so I'm going to pull in this shout out birthday, and it has this amazing text, and it's just like all birthday words like hip hip hooray and celebrate and happy birthday and wish big and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to put those words into this panel. So you have to make sure you do the die cutting that you want to do on the panel first and then do your embossing, because if you do your embossing first and then do your die cutting, when you put this through the machine to do the die cut, it squishes all of your embossing. Ask me how I know. I didn't do it today, but I have done it. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's just not very good. So you're just going to line up your panel inside the embossing folder and you can see the text. So I'm going to know that it's kind of going straight. Okay, I'm going to close that up and I'm going to run this through my Platinum 6 and emboss that panel as well. So look at all the fun things we're doing with just one card. But all of these things that you do add a little bit more interest as you go along. So here we go. So now we've got that window done and it's all embossed. Now I can leave it like this, which is cool. But I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to pull out a sanding block and I'm going to actually sand all the raised areas. And what that's going to do is it's going to sand off the ink and expose the white paper that I stamped on or stenciled on. Okay. So you're just going to lightly, like, don't go in there and go crazy. Just get a feel for what is going to happen when you start sanding. And it's just sort of scraping off some of that ink that you stenciled on there and exposing the white paper underneath. So I'm just going to do the whole thing because I want it to be all like that. So you can do this with any embossing folder. So if you've got like other designs or whatever you want to try it on, you can. So you can stencil up a panel and then you can emboss it, and then you can go ahead and sand the raised areas. If it's a 3D embossing folder, then there's going to be different layers of embossing. So some might be recessed a little bit more, so not all of it might sand off, but depending on how much it's raised, you might get a similar effect, or just on some of the pieces, which is cool too. The only way you're going to know is to experiment. And for those of you that are having mojo issues, this is where you can kind of pull something out and give this little technique a try and just create a background. You might just stash it away and not use it right away. And then one day you'll pull it out and go, oh, wow, this will work perfect for this. Okay. So let's get rid of all this paper dust. Okay, so now this is what that looks like. So I'm just going to hold it up a little bit closer so you can see. Isn't that cool? I love the effect that that has. So here is a plain stencil panel. And, you know, the hole cut out of it. Nothing wrong with that. I embossed it and then sanded it. And this is what it looks like. Isn't that fun? So just, you know, a few more little techniques. And these little techniques obviously affect the overall look of your card, but they're the fun part for the card maker. The card receiver doesn't get the enjoyment of making the card. I always say, people are like, oh, I'm not giving that card to anybody because they're just going to throw it out. Well, guess what? You got to do all this fun stuff before you gave it to them. So your job or your enjoyment has already happened. So what happens after that, it doesn't matter. So here we are. Oh, there's a little fly here. Did I get him? No. Okay. So that's that. Perfect. Now we're going to work on the part that we're going to put inside here. So what I want to do is I want to cut out the Wish Big, and I'm going to cut that out. This ink color I used was Grapefruit from Concord and 9th, and I have their matching cardstock. So I pulled out the Grapefruit cardstock. I have a scrap here, and I knew it would be darker than the color that blended on the cardstock. So I'm going to get a shade difference, which is what I want. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out the Wish Big. And then this is the piece that popped out of this part right here. And originally when I was kind of designing the card, I thought, ooh, do I want to use that? I don't know. So I tried something. And I'll show you what I tried, just because we're going to be running this through anyway. And again, it's just going to show you how great this plate system is. So I'm just going to cut this a little bit smaller so it'll all fit on. Where's my scissors? So I'm just going to get rid of some extra cardstock here so I have some more room. So here's Wish Big. Okay, so that we're going to cut that out of there. Now the piece that popped out, I'm going to put here. That was the large part of the shadow. So if I can put that on there, it's going to be the same size. There's also the smaller shadow die. So I thought, well, what if I kind of cut this smaller? Maybe I could mat this on top of this. But look what I just did there. Do you see how I put that smaller die on top of there? I can run that through. It's not moving. Like, I'm going to get a beautiful frame out of this too. So if you want to make frames out of your nesting dies, This machine and this plate system is amazing for that. So that die is not going to move. It's perfectly placed on top of there. So I'm going to run both of these through at the same time. And I'm just going to show you what happens there. So here we go. So again, with most normal die cutting machines, you're going to need to use tape, and the dies shift a little bit sometimes, and then the tape sticks to stuff and whatever. So let's look at the frame first. So I'm going to pull this smaller die off and look at the frame that you end up getting from just layering those two dies. So it's a nice thin 1/8 inch frame. I am using the shim, and I'll hold it closer. Do you see how you get the little indent marks from the die? I actually really love that. It happens when you use like really heavy, very good quality weight paper, which, you know, Concord and Ninth, Tailored Expressions, Gina K, all that is all very good paper. And the die actually, the pressure from the machine pushes into the paper, and it gives you like a quilted look, which I actually really love. And then even when you take this piece, the actual die cut, see how the edges of it they have that little line and they're rolled over. That is one of the perks of using a die with good quality paper versus a cutting machine like a Silhouette or a Cricut. You don't get that nice edge when you do that. So it kind of like puffs the paper a little bit. And then up here we have the Wish Big, which popped out beautifully as well. There's my garbage right there. Okay, and now we've got the Wish Big. So you can use Wish Big on its own like this. You can use it with one shadow or two shadows. And you can also do the technique that we're doing today. So that's that. Now, where's my top plate? I got to keep all the things together here. Otherwise, things go south. Okay, so now I thought originally what I might do is place my Wish Big on here, because this is the small shadow. So it's going to match the paper in the front. So then, and this nests inside there. And see how you get that space that goes around, which is really fun. And I do like this a lot, but I did decide to do something different. So let's get rid of these and let's pull over a card base. Okay. And this panel is going to go on top of here, and I'm actually going to use foam tape to pop it up. I mean, how cute is that already? And then I thought, okay, I'll just put the Wish Big in here like this. And I do like that a lot. But there's a lot of space kind of around the outside. I can see if I can lift this up and show you. I could have used the more narrow shadow die to cut out my hole when I first started. But I think, I mean, it might work fine. It's a little tighter to this. So rather than using the same paper that I have for my panel, it kind of blends in. What I thought I would do is cut the shadow out of white, the smaller shadow out of white, which is here. Okay, so it's not as big as the one that I cut out of here. It's smaller. So this will nest inside of here like this. And then I'm going to put the Wish Big on top. Now, what this allows me to do is I can pop up that whole panel, or I can leave it flat. But if I'm just going to try to get this in place so I can lift it and show you. It kind of, even if I don't pop it up, it gives the inside another layer. So do you see what that does? And I like that. So I'm happy with that look. And that's what I decided to do. So having the extra shadow dies is good. Like you can play around and kind of decide how you want to do it. So I like that. And then even just doing this, you can save this and you can make this a window for a shaker. And then because you have the shadow dies, they can be the backer. And hold all your pieces in and do fun things. So there's tons you can do with it. But I really like these little word dies with the shadow. You can have a lot of fun with them. So this is kind of where I'm going with how I want my card to be laid out. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this part on so you can see. I'm not going to do all of the decorating of the card. I have Amanda's sample to kind of show you what you can do. You can dive into your stash and see what, birthday related things you have and kind of go from there. And again, maybe you're not going to make it for birthday. Maybe you're going to make it for a shower or a graduation or whatever. And it's fun to kind of look ahead and see what events you have that might be coming up. And what I'm going to do is really make sure I get that foam tape kind of close to the window because I don't want it to sag. I want it to be really supported. And I'm using a roll of foam tape here so I can really kind of customize my pieces and decide how long they need to be and where I need to put them. So I'm just going to run a few pieces. I know this is kind of boring to watch, but hang tight. Okay, that's too big for that. So see how I can fill in those pieces? I'm going to put another one down there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip and I'm just going to cut down the middle. So the scissors I'm using, these are the Spellbinders Pro Shears. These are amazing. They have a coating on them so they don't stick to adhesive, but it's nice when you're doing strips because you've got a nice long blade and you can cut. The smaller scissors are nice, but you have to cut. These are nice because you can get like one nice big cut in there and it's great. And my adhesive doesn't stick to them. And I use the same pair in a smaller version that I really like too. And this gives me some small pieces here that I can just sort of fill in my panel because you don't want this to sag. You want it to make sure it's supported. I have a cat hair that's got stuck in here too. I'm using my tweezers and see if I can pull it out. It's Cooper's little gift to me. Okay, so there we go. I think my panel's going to be good. Oh, I need one more piece here. So I'm just going to, again, cut one just a little more narrow. And then these pieces that I have left over, I just stick them on the side of the roll, and then I can use them up when I'm doing other things. So there we go. All right, so now that's good. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove this backing tape. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this panel on. Now, some people like to put liquid adhesive on the back of this so that they have a little bit of wiggle. I'm going to wing it. I'll hold my breath when I put it down and hope it goes on straight. Do you guys do that? I can't close my eyes because then I won't be able to see, but sometimes I open up my card here and I'm just going to hover over top just a little bit until I kind of get the spacing right. And then I'll tack it down. So that's going to sit on there like that. And it's very well, very well supported. So it's not going to sag anywhere. What did Amanda say? I hold my breath when I ink blend. Oh my gosh. That can take a while. You're going to pass out. That's kind of funny. I didn't know that about you. Okay, so now I have a choice. I can put this inside and leave it flat and then put this on top, which I think is what I'm going to do because it does give you some. Ooh, I had another idea. I have two of these. I could stack these. Okay, I'm going to stack these. I love to stack die cuts. It gives it a little dimension, like less, well, it depends how many you stack, but less than you get if you use foam adhesive, if you only do a couple. I don't even notice I do it anymore, but I do know I seem to do it more. That's so funny. Well, it's good that you figured it out because sometimes you do these things and you don't know and somebody else points it out. I will say Amanda's a bit of a heavy breather when she's concentrating. So I have noticed that she breathes loudly when she does stuff. And here I am criticizing her. I'm sure I do some dumb things too, but you can't see them. So I think I laugh when I get nervous too. But people just think I'm laughing. So I guess it doesn't really matter. I also catch myself. It depends how relaxed I am. If I'm pretty relaxed and I just feel like I'm having a conversation, I don't do it. But if I'm kind of like, I don't know, rambling about stuff, I'll say the word a lot. So I try to be conscious of that. But if like when I'm doing this and I'm just talking, I find I don't do it as much. Now you're all going to be fixated on how many times I say it. It's something we used to do in church when we were little. My parents always made us go to church, and we would, if we were in the regular church service, like if there wasn't Sunday school, we would have to sit through the sermons and stuff. And it was kind of boring when you're younger. And so we used to count the number of times the minister would say a certain word. That's how we entertained ourselves. That's bad, right? Okay, and now I'm going to stick this on there. Ooh, that's going to look good. Kevin makes fun of me when I do that. Yeah, I know. We all have our things. Do you guys do some funny crafting things that you want to share? We would love to hear. We want to make fun of you too. But we all do it. I mean, I know that my grandson Liam, when he's really concentrating, he kind of sticks his tongue out. But he's little, like he's only 7. Hopefully he outgrows that. He scrunches his nose up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to put this on here. Like so. It's going to look so good. And I know it's white on white, but I love a white on white option. Are you guys learning anything new? Oh my God. Crystal, that's hilarious. Okay, so you know what my husband does? So Crystal says, I narrate as I work. Husband is always asking, what? Pardon? And then you're just talking to yourself. So do you know what my husband does? So my husband narrates as he types things into his phone. Like, oh my gosh. So like if he's typing something, I'm going to the store. I'm going, and he's typing it. Like, why do I need to hear that? So that's something that's funny that he does. But I talk to myself when I work too. But that's just me organizing my brain, I think. I don't know. We all have funny things we do. Okay, so now this is going to fit perfectly inside this little window. I'm not going to pop it up. I'm just going to stick some glue on it. Okay. And we're just going to position that right inside there. It's going to fill in that white space. But the shadow is white. The background is white. But it does give a little bit of a line. So it gives it like a shadow look. So see how that goes? Woo, that looks so good. Okay, so now this is where it stops for me. And here, I'll just bring this card back on. So you can see what Amanda did. She had some balloons that she had in her stash. And so she added that and a couple of little word strips. And now I'm going to have to come up with what I want to add to the front of my card to finish it off and decorate it up. So what do you guys think? Oh, I wanted to share too this really awesome sentiment set that is in stock now too. This one is called All the Best Birthday. And it is a stamp and a die set. So you get dies for all of these. And I like it because it's a combination of one line sentiments as well as some vertical ones. Because sometimes you need sentiments that go kind of up and down. So it has the word happy birthday twice in 2 different fonts. And so you can see they're bigger on the back than they appear on the front of the packaging. So there's the happy birthdays. You've got birthday wishes, which is like a stacked one, which is nice. I like that they have a belated one because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'm a little late getting those cards out. It's your day. So that's one of the more vertical ones, and it's smaller. So it fits nicely on tags. Or if you just want a little something to add, it's nice to use that. And then there's the happy birthday to you. Happy, happy, happy birthday. So those, again, are a little more vertical. I like the wish big. It's right here. It's a really cute size and a nice font. And then there's the Oh Happy Day, which is like the bubble balloon letters, celebrating you. And I love the mixed text on that one. And then let's celebrate. So it has a really nice variety of sentiments. And the let's celebrate, again, can work for those things like graduations and showers and things like that. And same thing with celebrating you. You could be celebrating them for a number of different things. So it's a nice set to have that option. And it also works good for birthdays. So you can use it for both. And they look really great when they're stamped out. Amanda, is this the set that you used on some of yours? Oh, yeah, look at that. Let's look at these. So here is the birthday wishes stamped out. I like the sizing of that. That's this one here. And then this one is the Wish Big. So again, not lots of room for a sentiment on this one, but it's nice because it stacks up. It doesn't have to go like vertically across your card. It just fits nicely in that little spot. And then this is this Celebrating You. And it's nice because you can mix and match it with other one-line sentiments that you might have. And these are the bitty strips that I showed in my video on Tuesday. So that works really nicely with that. And there's that Belated Birthday Wishes. So just so you get an idea of what those look like on cards. So that's that. Okay, I think I covered everything that I wanted to share in the 2.0 birthday edition of the Craft and Connect. Anybody have any questions that they would like to ask before I sign off? I'm happy to answer those live. If not, and you're watching this on replay, you can always email us at the store. We are happy to help with any questions that you have. I'm just going to pop this up there. So it's 2scrapbookfriends@gmail.com. And we monitor the email a lot. So we answer tons of questions all the time, whether it be product questions or, can't find this video or whatever. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. And I'm just going to see if there's any comments here. That was fun. Thanks. Going to get in my room later today. Awesome. I hope you get some mojo going. I think all of the products that I talked about today are in stock. Some of them are in lower quantities, but we do have them. So you can also pop over to the online store and pick up any of these that you think you might like to add to your stash as well. And then, of course, give our video a thumbs up. We love when you do that. It's just like a little thank you to us for putting the videos together. We really appreciate that. But I'm going to sign off. I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm going to go grab something, and we'll see you again soon.